Ben ritrovati martedì mattina sul floor del New York Stock Exchange. Gli indici tentano di estendere il guadagno dell'ultima giornata, è la maggiore degli ultimi 2 mesi, quindi un tentativo di recupero dopo quella che è stata la peggiore settimana del 2012. Oggi sicuramente grande attenzione all'economia, ai dati economici resi noti proprio qui in giornata. Ne parliamo con il mio ospite, che è Stephen Guilfoyle, che è così soprannominato qui sul floor Sarge, che è economista per Meridian Equity Partners. Sarge, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure to be here.
So, Sarge, I was just saying that today we are back, to have a look at economic figures here in the United States. The housing numbers, they were pretty good, better than expected, and the good sign is the prices are up.
Yeah, the prices are up, and the annualized number was about 4.62 million, which is right around consensus, maybe just a shade off consensus, but it's a semi-positive number in the real estate sector, which we really haven't seen, which could be carried over. Tomorrow we have new home sales. Let's see if we can keep the ball rolling. This is a real positive. It would mean what the Fed's been doing might be starting to work, which would be a real positive going forward into the election if it was true.
And so you think that because now we are starting to see results, maybe we don't need another stimulus in June?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, the manufacturing number today, the Richmond Fed, it was within the range, but it was poor. And that's the second poor number in a row. The Philly Fed was poor. The Empire State was good, but that's starting to look like an aberration. So it's hard to say for sure where manufacturing is going. We'll get another chance on Thursday with the Kansas City Fed. So I can't say for sure that no stimulus is necessary. I don't think they can extend Operation Twist because that requires the selling of short-term securities, and they only have so many of those in inventory. The target of the Operation Twist, the average duration was supposed to be 100 months, and they're already over that. It's about 102 months now, and by June 30th, it'll be 110 months. So I don't think you'll get an extension of Operation Twist. And I don't know if things are quite bad enough for a QE3. So I don't think so.
So we'll see, of course, with the data that you were mentioning that are due this week. Talking instead about China, we've been following China, of course, in the last couple of days. China is ready to intervene. New stimulus for the economy. They really want to raise the internal demand to counteract maybe this, the slow economy that they're seeing worldwide. Will it work and will boost some confidence here?
Well, over the weekend, Wen Jiabao was speaking, the premier of China, and he seems very open now to monetary policy easing, to fiscal policy easing. He didn't say a darn thing about real estate, which has been something the Chinese have been very tight on, so that could mean that maybe they're ready to change their stance on that. Like you said, they look like they're ready to spend to create growth, so at least for the short term, if they are aggressive in their spending, that will produce growth. It may not be something they can sustain, but it should at least soften somewhat this hard landing they've been going through over the last few months.
And we need some good news from China because in Europe things look still very rocky, as we know. Do you still see a high chance, high possibility that Greece will leave the euro, or you are a little bit more positive after what the G8 has indicated and with the meetings that we are seeing this week?
Well, I think there's still a significant chance that Greece will leave the euro, but it will take some time. The one constant in Europe is uncertainty. So that's not going anywhere. That's going to take quite some time. There's going to be meetings this week, and we know the new government in France is more of a pro-spending government, pro-growth. The government in Germany is a pro-austerity, anti-debt type government, and they have their allies too. They have Finland, they have the Netherlands, they have Austria. So Germany has their allies. France certainly has their allies, which would be most of the countries who are in trouble. So these are going to be some pretty interesting meetings. And while they're going on, we have GDP numbers from Great Britain and from Germany. So there's going to be a lot to look at in Europe as we go into a holiday weekend here in the U.S.
So, it could be good news, it could be more trouble, more uncertainty. Talking about instead a different kind of uncertainty on the market. Facebook definitely disappointed. Now we can actually say that we've been, immediately down on Monday morning. Right after the opening, we lost the $38 of the IPO price. a lot of people were counting on Facebook IPO to gain momentum on the market, more volumes, more interest, like a little bit more confidence on investors. And of course, it's not happening right now.
No, it's when the banker stepped away, I think some people probably were like, oh, I better get out here. And it forced a sell-off yesterday. I think one thing, now you might consider me biased, but I think the BATS IPO and the Facebook IPO, these are screaming advertisements for the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, they can't make a public statement, but they've got to be thrilled. It seems like the one place where you can do a big, scary IPO and do it right is here. So,
But the DMM could have made a difference, and also here at the New York Stock Exchange, they are ready with with the algorithm and with the new technologies.
right, the technology is new, and you do have a human who can intervene with a cool head when something is amiss, which you don't have at the other exchanges. So, I think hopefully the New York Stock Exchange will take advantage of this in some kind of advertising going forward. We can only hope.
In the meantime, though, Facebook is appointed. All the retail investors that we were waiting for on the market are not here. So for the volumes in the future, it could be an issue.
Well, it is going to increase the volume, whether the price is positive or negative. I believe tomorrow you'll get the ability to borrow. So then the short sellers may come in, and that will put an additional pressure on the stock. We'll see what happens when that becomes available. It'll be interesting.
We'll see. Thank you very much, Sarge, for being with us.
Oh, thank you.
E grazie a voi per l'attenzione. A domani.